Good morning.
Good morning.
On Monday, I started school. And while I love teaching, I love my students, my favorite part about going back to school is the PTA luncheon on the first day. Always a highlight. It's always beautiful and wonderful and delicious. And the desserts stick around for a couple of days after that. But that reminds me of a time many years ago when I was a small child. And my dad was, the PTA calls, asked parents to bring certain things in. So they called my dad and they asked him to pick up rolls. Now, he didn't bother to tell me this, so we were eating dinner and I see rolls. Of course, I got a roll. And then he tells me, as I'm eating this roll, that this was for the PTA lunch, and they asked me to bring a dozen rolls. And I kind of ruined that. I felt really bad for a while, because obviously if you take a dozen rolls out of the White House rolls, the only rolls you should serve to people, the White House rolls, so, they're the slots, and you can tell if one is missing out of that slot. There's no covering that up. There's no playing that off. If there's one missing, there's one missing. And so I felt really bad about that. And so I ate my dinner in shame. And then the next morning when it was time for me to take the rolls to school for the luncheon, my dad said, "I want to show you something." I was afraid it was going to be some sort of awful punishment for ruining this PTA luncheon, but he had taken this bread basket and put the little bread towel in there, and he had put them all in there, and no one ever knew that there were only 11 rolls. The same is true with God. He takes our mistakes, and he turns them around to something even more magnificent than we could ever do on our own. He takes every mistake we've ever made, he takes us in our brokenness, and he makes us that much better. This morning, we celebrate the God of the turnaround. We celebrate the God of change. We celebrate the God of greatness. We stand as we worship.